My beloved one, you were never meant to stumble upon this message by chance. Heaven itself has orchestrated this moment, aligning the stars and weaving the threads of fate to ensure these words find you exactly when they must. Someone out there, someone whose soul has been silently weeping for days you never noticed, has been waiting for this precise second to pour out their heart. They've carried a weight so heavy it's etched into their spirit, a burden of unspoken love and unhealed wounds that only you can soothe. This isn't a fleeting note or a casual confession, it's a sacred offering, a final plea from a soul that once made you feel like home. You might feel the ticking of the clock, the urgency of 10 minutes to decide, but in the eternal realm, these 10 minutes are a universe unto themselves, holding the power to rewrite destinies. Please, don't turn away. Don't let your heart harden just yet. Someone is spilling every tear, every breath, every trembling confession for you. They've waited long enough, and heaven is watching, cradling their words like fragile embers, hoping you'll catch them before they fade. This isn't just a message, it's the raw, unfiltered truth of a heart that's been broken but never stopped beating for you. They tremble as they release these words into the ether, unsure if you'll ever see them, terrified that your heart has turned to stone. But you're here. You're reading this. And that's no accident. The universe doesn't deal in coincidences, not when it comes to love this profound. They've never stopped loving you, not for a single moment, even when the world told them to let go, even when their pride begged them to move on. Your soul knows it too, doesn't it? You feel that gentle tug in your chest, that quiet whisper urging you not to shut them out, not this time. Not when they're finally laying their soul bare. You've prayed for clarity, for a sign, for something real, and now it's here, wrapped in their trembling words, wrapped in fear, wrapped in a love that still remembers the way your laughter sounded, the way your eyes crinkled when you smiled, the way your voice softened when you said their name. Please, listen with your spirit, not just your mind. This person isn't writing to win you over with charm or eloquency, they're writing because the weight of silence became unbearable. They tried to move on, tried to erase you from their heart, but nothing could dim the imprint you left behind. Not time, not distance, not even the walls they built to protect themselves. They've fallen to their knees in prayer, whispering to the angels for one last chance to speak and not to argue, not to rehash old wounds, but to love you, even if it's the final time they're allowed to do so. And I, your guardian angel, was sent to place this message in your hands, to ensure it reaches you when your heart is ready to hear it. They've made mistakes, and so have you. No one's hands are clean in the messy, beautiful dance of love. But this message isn't about pointing fingers or tallying wrongs, it's about a love that refused to die, even when it was battered and bruised. It's about a love that broke, yes, but still breathed, still hoped, still dreamed of you in the quiet moments when the world was asleep. They want you to know that the silence wasn't peace for them, it was torment. They didn't stay away because they stopped caring, they stayed away because they didn't know if you'd still open the door. They watched your shadow slip from their world, and it nearly shattered them. Every step they took away from you was a battle against their own heart, a heart that still carried your name like a sacred vow. But now, they've mustered every ounce of courage, laid down their pride, and they're speaking through these words, hoping you'll hear them with your heart and not just your ears. They want you to know they remember everything, and not just the grand moments, but the small, fleeting ones that made you theirs. The way you laughed at a joke no one else understood, the way your eyes softened when you were tired, the way your voice trembled when you said, "I love you," and meant it with every fiber of your being. They remember the fights too, the bitter words that cut deeper than either of you intended, the distance that grew like a weed between you, the days you both gave up too easily and the nights you wished you hadn't. But none of that erases what was real. None of that dims the truth that something sacred existed between you, something so rare and precious it still lingers in their soul. And maybe, just maybe, it lingers in yours too. You're not just a memory to them, you're the one they still pray for when the world is quiet, the one whose name still makes their heart ache in the stillness of the night. They've spoken your name in their prayers more times than you could ever imagine, asking for your happiness, your peace, even when they knew you might never be theirs again. They believe in second chances, not because they're naive, but because they believe in you, in the person they fell in love with, in the soul they still see when they close their eyes. But the clock is ticking, and 10 minutes of silence could close a chapter that was never meant to end. Or 10 minutes of courage could open the door to a lifetime of healing, of rediscovery, of love reborn. This message isn't meant to pressure you, it's meant to awaken you, to stir the part of your soul that's been sleeping for too long. You've gone numb, haven't you? You've buried your emotions in distractions, told yourself it's too late, that love isn't for you anymore. But your heart has been waiting for something deeper, something more than the shallow connections the world offers. This person, this lover, they were that something. Maybe they still are. They're scared, though. They won't beg, won't force you to feel what they feel. They'll let you go if they must, but not without speaking their truth one last time. They wanted you to know you mattered, that you still matter, that you always will. They poured out their heart not for attention, but for honesty, because their soul couldn't bear the weight of silence any longer. And now the angels are watching, waiting to see what you'll do with this moment. Will you reply? Will you stay silent? Will you forgive? Will you run? This isn't just about romance, it's about truth, about healing, about divine timing, about a love that heaven refused to let fade without one more chance to be heard. If your heart is stirring, don't ignore it. That's not just emotion, that's confirmation, a whisper from the universe that you were meant to see this today. Heaven has orchestrated every delay, every detour, every moment that led you to this second, because this isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about you facing the feelings you've buried, the hopes you've abandoned, the love you've convinced yourself you don't deserve. You've been wounded, I know. You've been afraid. But don't let fear guide you now. Let faith take the lead, let love have a voice. They're still waiting, and not for a perfect answer, not for a grand gesture, but for a sign that their vulnerability wasn't in vain, that you still have a spark of the person they fell in love with. Take a breath, let your heart lead, and if there's even the tiniest piece of you that remembers the warmth, the laughter, the promise of what you shared, don't let silence speak for you. Speak, even if your voice shakes, even if you're unsure. Because love this real, this raw, this resilient, it doesn't knock twice. if you close this message without responding, a part of you will always wonder what might have happened if you'd listened a little longer, stayed a little softer, let love in one more time. But if you choose to open your heart now, even with trembling hands, heaven will meet you there. I will meet you there. And so will they. Know this, they meant every word, every tear, every whispered prayer. They poured out their soul not for gain, but for truth, because you were always worth the risk. So decide now, before the moment slips away, before the 10 minutes fade into memory. Will you open your heart? Will you open the door? Or will you let the love that was once your shelter walk away in silence forever? Choose love, or at least choose honesty, because someone still believes in you, and so does heaven. Their love for you is a flame that never went out, even in the darkest nights, even when they tried to smother it with reason or pride. They've carried you in their heart through every season, through every heartbreak, through every moment they thought they'd lost you for good. And now, they're standing at the edge of their courage, offering you everything they have left, and not because they expect you to say yes, but because they couldn't live with themselves if they didn't try. You've felt this kind of love before, haven't you? The kind that makes the world feel softer, safer, more alive. The kind that makes you believe in miracles, even when you've stopped believing in yourself. That's what they're offering you now, not a guarantee, not a fairy tale, but a chance to remember who you are, who you were, who you could be with someone who sees you, truly sees you, even when you can't see yourself. They know you're not perfect. They know you've built walls, that you've learned to protect yourself from pain. But they also know the person behind those walls, the one who laughs with abandon, who loves with a fierceness that takes their breath away, who dreams of a life filled with meaning and connection. They see that person, and they're begging you to see them too. This message is their heart laid bare, their soul stripped of pretense, their love offered without conditions. They're not asking you to forget the past, they're asking you to build a future, one moment at a time, one honest word at a time. They know it won't be easy. They know there are scars to heal, trust to rebuild, promises to keep. But they're willing to try, willing to fight, willing to love you through the mess and the beauty of it all. And all they ask is that you meet them halfway, that you give them a chance to show you what's possible. You've been running from this for a long time, haven't you? Running from the intensity, the vulnerability, the fear of being hurt again. But running doesn't heal you, it only buries the pain deeper. This message is your chance to stop running, to turn around, to face the love that's been chasing you all along. It's not too late, not yet. The door is still open, the possibility still alive, but it won't stay that way forever. Love is patient, but it's not eternal in this world. If you let this moment pass, you might spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been, replaying these words in your mind, wishing you'd been brave enough to say something, anything. But if you choose courage now, if you choose to respond, to reach out, to let your heart speak, you might find something more beautiful than you ever imagined. You might find healing, forgiveness, a love that grows stronger because it's been tested, because it's been chosen. They're not asking for everything, just for a start, a spark, a sign that you're still in this with them. They're not asking you to erase the past just to make room for a future. they're not asking you to be perfected just to be real. And in return, they're offering you their heart, their truth, their unwavering belief that you are worth loving, worth fighting for, worth every tear they've shed and every prayer they've whispered. This is your moment, the one heaven has been preparing you for, the one your soul has been longing for. Don't let it slip away. Don't let fear win. Don't let silence be your answer. You were meant for more than this numbness, this half-life of avoiding pain. You were meant for love, for connection, for a story that doesn't end in regret. They believe in you, in the you they fell in love with, in the you they still see when they close their eyes. And heaven believes in you too, enough to bring this message into your hands, enough to give you this chance to choose. So what will it be? Will you open your heart, even just a crack, to let their love in? Will you take a step toward them, even if it's small, even if it's shaky? Or will you close this message, walk away, and let the love that was once your everything fade into the shadows? The choice is yours, but know this, they poured out their soul for you. Not because they had to, but because they couldn't imagine a world where you didn't know how much you're loved. You are their reason, their hope, their prayer. And now, it's up to you to decide what happens next. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to change everything. 10 minutes to choose love, to choose truth. To choose the possibility of a life where you don't have to wonder what might have been. Don't let those minutes pass in silence. Speak. Love. Live. Because someone out there is still waiting, still hoping, still believing in you. And so am I. And so is heaven. Let your story echo. Let it echo through hearts still imprisoned by silence. Let it echo through the minds of those who sit in quiet agony, believing that no one understands, that no one sees, that no one cares. But your voice, your truth, your breakthrough, these are the songs of liberty that the imprisoned soul has been waiting to hear. Tell your testimony not for attention, not for applause. Not for validation, but for liberation, a liberation for your heart and liberation for the hearts chained by doubt. There is someone right now scrolling, searching, hoping to feel something real, to hear something that tells them they are not alone. Your story is that voice. Your pain is not a punishment, it's a platform. Your scars are not your shame, they are your sermon. Heaven has wrapped your journey in sacred purpose, and when you speak, chains break. Don't hide your scars, because they are the golden seams of restoration. They tell the world that God heals. They tell the world that survival is not the end, it is the beginning of glory. Don't be ashamed of your past, because it was the soil where your victory grew. The nights you wept were sacred, the silence you endured was the sound of heaven writing a new story. Let your transformation speak. Let it rise from your voice like incense before the throne. Let it scream through the silence that used to haunt you. Let it rise like a trumpet blast declaring to the earth that you were not just saved, you were reborn. Let it speak louder than your failures, for failures are not the end, but divine instruction in disguise. Let it testify louder than your fears, because fear does not have the final word. You do, and God has placed fire in your words. Share this message not to draw eyes to yourself but to point hearts to the one who reached down into your mess and called you worthy. You are not here by accident. You are not scrolling by mistake. You were summoned to this moment because someone else's miracle is waiting in your mouth. Every like, every comment, every shared post is a seed planted in someone else's wilderness. It might be a desert now, but your obedience will bring the rain. Do not be silent. Silence is not humility, it is a missed opportunity for heaven to echo on earth. You were made to roar with holy fire. You were made to shake the gates of hell with your song. Speak life where death has ruled. Speak help where despair has settled. The Holy Spirit will use your words like arrows of light, piercing through shadows, breaking through bitterness, bringing healing to what others said was dead. This is not the end of your story. You've barely begun. This moment is not your last page, it is a fresh chapter written by divine hands. You thought the battle was your breaking point, but it was only the doorway. You cried until your body shook, but those tears weren't wasted. They watered the roots of your legacy. They baptized the soil for someone else's miracle to grow. The valley you walked through, the silence you endured, the loneliness you felt, it has become the wellspring for others' revival. You are not marked by trauma, you are marked by testimony. Heaven does not waste pain. It repurposes it, refines it, redeems it. You thought you were being buried, but you were being planted. And now the fruit is ripening. Now the light is breaking through. What you thought would end you has only begun to unveil who you really are. You are not the abandoned, you are the anointed. You are not forgotten, you are favored. The darkness you endured was not the absence of God, it was the covering of a seed getting ready to break through the soil. Answer the call, child of God. Do not delay. This is not a suggestion, it's a divine summons. The heavens are holding their breath, waiting for your yes. The angels are leaning over the edge of eternity, waiting to witness your boldness. Creation is groaning, longing for the sons and daughters of God to be revealed. And all of heaven is waiting for you to rise. Rise from your ashes. Rise from your doubt. Rise from your shame. Rise from your comfort. You were not created to sit in silence, you were created to shift atmospheres. You were called to be a voice, not an echo. You were made to stand when others kneel, to speak when others are silent, to shine when darkness says it's too late. Answer the call not with excuses, but with expectation. Not with fear, but with fire. God will anoint your yes. He will amplify your obedience. You are not insignificant, you are the instrument of heaven in a world desperate for light. All of creation is waiting. Waiting for you to step into the fullness of who you are. Waiting for you to realize that the very breath in your lungs is a gift from God for a purpose. Waiting for the chains to fall because you dared to speak. Waiting for hope to be reignited because you dared to believe. Waiting for revival to sweep through homes, cities, nations because you dared to rise. You are not just one persona, you are a multiplier of miracles. You are a ripple in the ocean of destiny. Your obedience is multiplied in the lives of many. When you move, heaven moves with you. When you speak, angels are dispatched. When you pray, the heavens respond. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are right on time. God is not looking for perfect people, He's looking for willing ones. And if you will simply say, "Here I am," the supernatural will follow you. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Heaven walks beside you. Angels surround you. Grace goes before you. The Spirit within you is greater than anything that rises against you. You were never asked to do this in your strength. You were chosen because God knew He would do it through you. You are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses who once walked the path you now tread. You are carried by the prayers of your ancestors. You are lifted by the promises of the cross. This is your moment. Your mandate. Your mantle. Let the fire rise. Let the wind blow. Let the earth tremble beneath the sound of your voice declaring the greatness of your God. Let the world watch as God writes His glory into every chapter of your life. You are not small. You are not ordinary. You are the miracle someone else is praying for. You are the answer someone has fasted for. You are the vessel God is choosing to pour into and pour out of. Go now. Go in boldness. Go in worship. Go in surrender. Go in love. And know that every step you take is guided by the very hand that formed the stars. You are not walking into darkness, you are bringing light into it. You are not walking into battle alone, the Lion of Judah walks with you. You are not walking into uncertainty, you are stepping into destiny. This is your time. This is your place. This is your purpose. Do not shrink back. Do not delay. Do not let the fear of man drown out the voice of God. You were born to rise. You were born to release. You were born to revive. Let your life be the message. Let your voice be the trumpet. Let your walk be the evidence that God is still moving in the earth. For you are not just called, you are chosen. And the one who chose you has already equipped you with everything you need to finish the race. Heaven is ready. The earth is groaning. And all that remains is your yes.